its signature search and internet holdings into a new company. And Boston College now says 120 students were sickened by a norovirus after eating at a Chipotle restaurant near campus. That's up from 80 yesterday. Tom Busby, CNBC.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
You're a small to mid-sized business with 300 to 3,000 employees. You face the same network security challenges as big businesses do, but can't support a big IT investment, leaving your doors open to advanced cyber threats. Barracuda next-generation firewalls provide all the core features of enterprise firewalls and UTMs, but without hidden costs and deployment hurdles, making owning a big business firewall no big deal for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda next-gen firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is our New Year's gift to you. Circle this date, Friday, January 15th. You're invited to start the new year off right with a subscription to BuySellMakeOffer.com. Some other selling sites can be sketchy, and even others will charge you a fee on every item you list. But with BuySellMakeOffer.com, you can sell your washer, dryer, cars, or even your home with no per-item fees. And you can use Skype, make a video. You can actually see the person you're buying from, or they can see you, all to better sell your product. Wouldn't you like a feeling of security when you buy or sell? That's why we call it BuySellMakeOffer.com. And you don't have to wait until January 15th to find out what the buzz is all about. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and type in your email address so you'll know exactly when the fun will begin. The first 30 days are on us, and then it's as little as $7.95 per month to sell up to 50 items. Join the revolution in online selling with BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Good afternoon. It's 12:03. I'm Di Rice with the latest in live, local, national, and international news here on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. FBI Director James Comey says investigators are trying to determine how long San Bernardino shooter Syed Farouk and his wife Tashfeen Malik had been plotting their homegrown attack here in San Bernardino.
To find homegrown violent extremists, to find those that are radicalizing and being inspired by these terrorist groups is a very, very hard thing. We work at it every single day, and we use all the lawful tools that you have given us.
And Comey says investigators are also trying to discover whether the couple were plotting other attacks.
We're working very, very hard to understand, did they have other plans, either for that day or earlier, and that work continues.
In another story, police say the evidence they collected was enough to suspect Maria Batista de Lopez of killing her 5-year-old son and attempting to take her own life. The 46-year-old woman's injuries were minor. She was arrested on suspicion of murder. Police say the boy's injuries were inflicted with a sharp instrument. The incident occurred Tuesday at a residence on West Temple Street. Considering the recent mass slaying at the IRC, Tuesday's incident was the city's 41st homicide of the year. And La Sierra University is reporting that one of its students was found dead on campus in Riverside this morning. The body of Nicholas Culver, 19, of Rancho Cucamonga, was found at 9:30 yesterday morning in Sierra Towers, a dorm facility on campus. Riverside Police Lieutenant Gary Leach said there was no indication of foul play at the scene. The Riverside coroner is investigating the cause of death. Culver was a freshman at the school. Inland Empire weather, some clouds out there, but mostly sunny. Highs near 80, lows 51. Variable clouds tomorrow with highs near 71, and rain by chance in the forecast by Friday. Checking out your drive, not a lot going on out there, though. In Colton, there is an object on the roadway at the 10 westbound right before 9th Street. And other than that, you're looking pretty good out there. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Switch Reel's Gospel Hour is a show designed to enhance our lives spiritually, mentally, and musically. I'm your host, Elisa. Join us for the fun of learning every Saturday
from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
It is the Dave Ramsey Show. Sacrifice, determination.
You can be intentional about your character, your work ethic.
You've got to be on the same page.
Today we're calling to let you know we are debt-free, house and everything.
You have done really, really, really good. And you're not going to quit now.
It's been a huge witness for us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people.
Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones this hour at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. It is a free call. 888-825-5225. Dan is in Champaign, Illinois. Merry Christmas, Dan.
Merry Christmas, Dave.
How can I help today, sir?
Well, my question is, what is the right way to get back into a house after bankruptcy?
Takes about 4 years.
Okay. What would be are we looking more for trying to save up as much as possible and going for like a 15-year mortgage, or should we wait longer than that if possible?
Well, I mean, the minimum you're going to get a traditional mortgage without getting into a subprime lender where they're ripping you off is going to be 4 years, and that's if everything's squeaky clean during that 4 years from the date of your discharge on your bankruptcy. Now, that's the credit answer. As far as what you should be doing, you need to, if there's any debts that survive the bankruptcy, you need to clear those. IRS, student loans, child support that survive the bankruptcy. You got to clear all those, and you need to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then you need to start saving on your down payment as hard and as high as you can. And then, big a pile of money as you can possibly get. The closer you pay cash, the better for you. And then, of course, we're going to tell you never buy a home. And this doesn't change for your story from anybody else's. Bankruptcy just makes it more difficult for you is all. Never buy a home except on a 15-year mortgage or less, where the payment's never any more than a fourth of your take-home pay.
Okay. No, we were just trying to get ourselves back in track, and we were wondering, okay, so how long should we rent before we try to get back into a house? If we should rent for, the 7 to 8 years and try to save up as much as possible.
What do you guys make a year? What do you make a year? Household income?
Right now we're at 80.
Okay. What happened? What was the bankruptcy from?
That was my wife lost her job, and that was about 2/3 of our income, and we were stupid before that. So since then, though, about 6 months ago, I started a different job that is now triple what I was making before, which is what's got us thinking about, okay, how can we plan this out right now that we do have some money coming in?
And so what was the bankruptcy on?
The house went into foreclosure that we had before, and then it was a bunch of credit cards.
Okay. So you filed bankruptcy on credit cards and on a foreclosure?
Yeah.
Okay.
It got to the point where we were trying to food and diapers versus paying mortgage and credit cards, and there was some medical in there as well that went with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we did some stupid stuff before.
Mm-hmm. How old are you guys?
I am 36, and my wife is 30.
Okay. All right, cool.
Now, that was a year ago.
Making $80,000 if you rent cheap in Champaign, Illinois, and you probably save up and pay cash for a house in 8 years.
That's what I was kind of wondering, is if it wouldn't be a bad idea if we could rent as long as possible to almost go cash out on a house.
Yeah. I don't borrow money for anything, ever.
Right.
So under any circumstances. So if I can't save up and pay for it, I don't buy it, whatever it is. period.
That's what we're going to try to do now.
I went through what you've been through many years ago, 25, 30 years ago, and I'm never going back. The borrower is slave to the lender. I'm never going to be slave to anybody but Jesus ever again. That's it. Period. End of story. Now, as far as that's how I live my life. And so that's kind of one end of the spectrum, so to speak. The other end of the spectrum, in other words, the most debt you should ever consider, and the only debt that I don't just yell at people for doing, is a mortgage on a 15-year fixed. And so that's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. So that's kind of one end of the mark. The other end of the mark, to save up and pay cash. Anywhere between there you fall is going to be wiser than 90% of the culture.
Okay.
Anywhere on that spectrum you fall. And so let's say you saved up and paid for half of it, and you put it on a 7-year mortgage, right? Or you paid 75% down, and you put it on a 5-year mortgage. Or you saved it all and paid cash. Anywhere in there is okay with me. And with what you all have been through, you don't ever want to be back in a house. I mean, when your home is in foreclosure, it messes with you inside of your guts more than anything. I mean, you can't eat because your stomach's in your throat all the time. I remember that feeling. And you've had that feeling, too.
That's right.
And so I kind of had that experience where I said never again, ever, under any circumstances, will I be in a situation where some dadgum banker calls me at home, and the only thing it is now, if a banker calls me at home, is a wrong number. That's it. Because I'm not trying to buy a bank, and that'd be the only reason I'd talk to one of them otherwise. So, that's it. So, you can decide how far on that scale you want to go. But it wouldn't make me mad, and it wouldn't be unwise, and you wouldn't be crazy. Now, there's crazy broke people that'll think you're crazy if you say, I'm going to rent for 8 years and save up and pay cash because I'm never going back. But financially, at the end of the game, you'll come out ahead doing that. Most people won't pay a price like that to do it, though. So I'd keep running your math and say, okay, we're going to set a price of a house at this price, and we're going to crank everything towards that, and we're going to do it as fast as we can do it. You probably do it faster than that. And but as long as you've got your emergency fund in place and you're debt-free, you got a good, strong down payment or 100% down, which is my favorite plan. Anywhere in there, I'm going to be good with where you are, Dan. And if you you're going to be fine that way. So, hey, have you guys been through Financial Peace University?
Not yet. We found out about it too late.
Okay. You're going to go through now if you want to, because I'm going to pay for it.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Will you both attend the class if I give it to you free?
Yes, we will.
Okay. And when you're rich someday, will you pay for somebody that went through bankruptcy to go through for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, cool. You just pay it forward and you go to class. I'll give it to you. Merry Christmas. Because I wish somebody had done that for me when I got out of bankruptcy. I had to learn all this. I had to figure all this stuff out. Nobody's out there talking about this stuff. Because nobody talks about it, do they? Have you noticed that broke people all walk around looking like they got it together and they don't? How's everything going? Just fine. Car's going to be repoed Tuesday, but just fine. And that's in the church lobby. There you are in church lying. I mean, just lied. And everybody's walking around acting like everything's okay. It's not freaking okay. It's not okay at all. But there's so much shame and guilt because everybody thinks everybody else has got it together, and the actual statistics tell us almost no one does. Very few people. And you pull up at a stoplight, you see 5 nice cars sitting around, you're looking at 5 car payments. That's what you're looking at. I mean, it's most Americans live big hat, no cattle. Looking like they're something they're not. Tom Stanley's last book before he passed away, Stop Acting Rich. Quit acting like you're something you're not. Changes everything. And you can't keep up with what you think other people are doing. Well, they went on a trip. Yeah, well, their dadgum mortgaged up to their eyeballs. That trip's on their stupid credit card. I got miles. Yeah, you got miles. Miles to go before you're not broke. That's what you got. Unbelievable, man. So, people, this thing, you've got to stop measuring yourself against broke people that are looking good. That's not a good measure. If broke people are making fun of your financial plan, you are right on track. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show. Right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on KCAA, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks. And I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company has been serving the greater Inland Empire for over 60 years. For all of your printing needs, from full-color printing to high-speed copying and everything in between, go to Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. Their staff is committed to your total satisfaction. Great service isn't just lip service at Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. It's the way they do business year after year. Having trouble finding drafting supplies? Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company still carries a complete selection. Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company is rated high in customer satisfaction by Value Star, an independent rating company. For all of your personal or business printing, call Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company at 909-792-3478. That's 792-3478, or visit them on New York Street in Redlands off the I-10 and the Crosstown Freeway.
For those of you traveling by air to celebrate this holiday season, LA Ontario International Airport wants you and your family to have a fun and safe trip. For your convenience,
remember, TSA travel rules are for your safety and those of others. LA Ontario International Airport reminds you to arrive early and check with your airlines for flight delays or cancellations.
ONT offers 62 daily flights to 15 nonstop western cities. This year, Santa brings your airport the Paws Pet Assisting with Smiles stress relief program. So, make sure to stop and pause a while, then sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. For more airport information, please visit us at lawa.org.
KCAA is proud to announce another new service for all North American listeners. Now you can listen to our station on your telephone by calling us at 832-999-1050. Our service is available on any standard telephone, cell phone, or smartphone. Simply call 832-999-1050. That's 832-999-1050. Standard cell phone rates may apply.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Geraldine is with us in Phoenix. Hi, Geraldine. How are you?
Hi, Dave. It's an honor to talk to you.
You too. What's up?
Yes, Dave. My question is about federal student loan repayment programs. My husband will be a junior engineering student at a state university here in Arizona next spring.
Good.
And he would like Thank you. He would like to apply for the Department of Defense Student Loan Repayment Program for engineering students, where he will have to make at least a 2-year commitment. However, I had a very bad experience with mine. where I took a federal student loan, being in the medical field, and after many years of legal battle, it eventually worked in my favor. And I don't want for him to go through that.
What was the nature of your legal battle?
Okay, so what happened was the first job I was in, they offered me this medical student loan repayment program, and I said, well, it would just make sense if I'm going to be here for at least 2 years. Well, they fired me from that job, and even though I only owed $15,000, after 3 months of not getting back to me, they said, well, you either need to work for one of our clinics once again, and they would put me anywhere in Arizona. They were trying to put me in a remote area somewhere in the east part of the state. And at that time, I was already employed in another office. And when I refused to, and then they said, well, you're going to pay 10 times more of what you owe plus the interest. And then I said, well, it wasn't my fault. It was just many years of just a legal thing.
They make you repay what you owe plus the interest, not 10 times.
Correct. Okay. Then eventually worked out in my favor because they realized that I did my due diligence right from the beginning, informing them that I was going to lose my job and I wanted to get relocated, but when they replied to me, it was 3 months too late. And I
so
said,
what you've discovered is that when you're dealing with the federal government, as an employee even, you're dealing with a bureaucracy, right?
Yes.
And that's your fear of your husband entering into that. So how much student loan debt will he have coming out of engineering school?
About $25,000.
And what will they forgive in 3 years?
Everything.
100%. And what will he be making if he takes this job?
He will start at least 60.
At about 60. What could he make if he took a job in the open market, non-federal, civilian job?
Around the same amount.
Really?
Yeah.
Is his grades bad?
No, for computer systems engineer, that's what he said he's going to be making as a new grad.
I think he needs to do some more homework.
Okay.
I think he's way low. So here, let me tell you what I think you're going to find when you dig into this. I think in the open market you're going to get paid more, enough more that you could pay back your own student loans and not screw with this job.
Okay.
Let's pretend that you made 80 instead of 60. Like 1 year you're almost done, right?
Correct.
And that's what I think you're going to find. So, I mean, he's moving into the tech field, and the tech field is hot right now, and there's a shortage of trained labor in that field, and that's why, I've kind of got a clue what I'm talking about because we're hiring tech people like crazy right now. And so I might be wrong about that particular part of that field, but let me tell you, typically what the federal government pays is not top of market. It's bottom of market because they present to you that you get, quote, unquote, a stable job and, quote, unquote, all these fabulous benefits. And that's supposed to be worth so much more. I'd rather you make top of the market and pay your own student loan back. But if you go into it and you do take the $60,000 and you do let them pay off the $25,000, during the time that you're there, I want you to go ahead and save up the $25,000 and put it in a savings account so that if something happens like it does to you, you've got the money to pay off the loan anyway. And then once you clear the 3 years and the $25,000 is completely forgiven, then you take your $25,000 that you got in your pocket and use it for wherever you are on the plan. But pretend like you've still got the debt and just pay it into a savings account and be ready in case something goes wrong when you're on a student loan forgiveness program. And that's what I tell folks to do because of what happened to you. I've seen it happen before. Jake's in Phoenix. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, I have a couple pretty big decisions to make. My wife and I are I would consider newlyweds. I'm 24. She's 23. My mom has cerebral palsy, and she lives about an hour away, and she's getting to the point, old enough and weak enough, where she can't be alone anymore. And we are deciding, we have a 3-bedroom home, and we have no kids, and I don't think we're ready for her to move in with us. So we're deciding if we want to upgrade our house to a larger home so that way she can move in with us and we still have our own space, or if we just buy another house and rent our house out to her.
What's wrong with her house?
It's a two-story, and there's no bedrooms on the bottom floor.
What's it worth?
It's about $90,000, $95,000.
Why doesn't she sell her house and buy another house for herself?
Because she has no income. She doesn't work. My grandfather owns the house, and he would be selling the house, and he said he would give us $50,000 towards either our house or a new house for us to move in large enough for her to move in with us.
This is her dad?
This is her dad, yeah, my grandpa. So
what is the house he's selling worth?
The house that I live in currently?
No, the one she lives in.
What's it worth right now?
Yeah.
We comped it to go for about $90,000, $95,000.
So why are you only getting 50?
Because he's 80 years old and retired. So I think
yeah, but he doesn't have this money now.
No, he doesn't.
What I would suggest is that he takes the $90,000 from the house that he bought for his daughter who has cerebral palsy and buy another house for his daughter that has cerebral palsy that she can live in.
Okay.
That's what I would suggest. Now, I don't want this to sound cold, and I don't want a bunch of hate mail from you people out there. We have a balance here between a lady who needs care and a young marriage that has just started.
Yeah.
And when you commit to caring for her, you've entered a whole bunch of stuff into the chemistry of your marriage.
Correct.
You've changed the trajectory of your all's future. And I'm not saying you shouldn't care for her, and I'm not saying you shouldn't consider this. You should consider it. But wisdom says that, dude, you are walking into a minefield.
Yes, and I think we've realized that because both my wife and I are scared going into it because we know that this isn't just 2 or 3 years.
And your mom has no money at all.
She's got no money.
What do you guys make a year?
My wife is a stay-at-home mom, and I bring home about $72 a year.
I thought you said you had no kids.
We have no kids.
How's she a stay-at-home mom?
Well, she's not a stay-at-home mom.
She's a stay-at-home wife.
Stay-at-home wife, yeah.
Okay.
That's what you can call it.
All right. For a minute, I thought the Shih Tzu was getting great care here. Okay. I've got a Shih Tzu that requires great care, so he's spoiled rotten. That's why I thought that. Okay. Yeah. How does your mom live now with monthly expenses?
My grandfather.
She has Social Security as well, right?
She does. She gets about $700, I think, about Social Security, and about $500 of that goes to my grandpa to pay cable and car insurance, and I pay for her phone bill. I mean, we kind of all split up the cost already, but...
Car insurance. She drives?
She does.
Okay.
She does drive. And she's getting to the point where she can't really drive anymore, but she has been driving it.
Yeah. Well, my first choice would be for somehow you guys to pool some money and hire some care for her in a different home. Let Grandpa sell the home and buy a home she can live in, and not interfere with the trajectory of your marriage and your brand new newlyweds and moving Mom in with you with all these troubles. That's my first choice. I guess my second choice is she moves in your current home. No, I would not move up in home, and I'd take the $50,000 from Grandpa for giving care here, to give care, because he's He's been doing that, and that's a reasonable process. But you don't have to go buy another house. It needs to be in the house you're in.
Listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
California headline news. FBI Director James Comey says the San Bernardino attacks represent a new phase in the battle against terrorism.
Homegrown violent extremists, the radicalizing in place in order to kill innocent people on behalf of a foreign terrorist organization, to claim a foreign terrorist organization and try to give it credit for acts of violence.
Comey telling a Senate hearing that Syed Farouk and his wife Tashfeen Malik were talking about jihad and martyrdom back in 2013. Investigators trying to determine whether Farouk and Malik were planning other attacks as well. Lawmakers calling out Facebook after one of the San Bernardino killers praised ISIS on the website. U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein of California demanding Facebook and other social media sites be accountable accountable in the fight on terror.
If you create a product that allows evil monsters to communicate in this way, that's a big problem.
Geico weather, cooler, rain moving into the central and northern region of the state today. Clouds, slight chance for rain in Southern California. Jeff Scott, California News.
Geico presents 15 Things to See and Do in California. The USS Midway Museum is an unforgettable adventure for the entire family. Guests of the San Diego landmark can spend the day exploring the exhibits, restored aircrafts, and flight simulators aboard the USS Midway, America's longest-serving aircraft carrier of the 20th century. That's one of 15 things to see and do in California, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com.
When you're running your own business, you're bound to be busy. Too busy. Too busy worrying about your budget. Too busy scheduling appointments. Too busy to build a website for your business. And because you're too busy, it has to be easy. And that's where Wix.com comes in. With Wix.com, it's easy for you to create your stunning website. Go to Wix.com and create your website today. It's easy and free. That's Wix.com.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. This December, visitors at the Orange Empire Railway Museum will have the opportunity to embark upon a magical train ride to the North Pole and visit Santa Claus at his workshop. Along the way, passengers can enjoy Christmas jingles, holiday trivia games, and storytelling with the elves. Upon arrival, they'll be greeted by Santa himself. Then, at Santa's North Pole workshop, guests can visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus, take photos, play on Thomas play tables, and do various craft activities, as well as enjoy refreshments. Ticket prices are $10 for ages 2 through 11 and $15 for ages 12 and up. The Orange Empire Railway Museum is giving away a number of free tickets at Facebook.com/Orange Empire Railway Museum and Instagram at Instagram.com/Orange Empire Railway Museum. However, seats are filling up fast, and it's strongly suggested to book quickly. The holiday event will take place Fridays through Sundays, beginning December 4th through December 20th. Call for North Pole train ride times at 951-943-3020 or visit OERM.org for the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris. And that's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company has been serving the greater Inland Empire for over 60 years. For all of your printing needs, from full-color printing to high-speed copying and everything in between, go to Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. Their staff is committed to your total satisfaction. Great service isn't just lip service at Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company. It's the way they do business year after year. Having trouble finding drafting supplies? Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company still carries a complete selection. Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company is rated high in customer satisfaction by Value Star, an independent rating company. For all of your personal or business printing, call Redlands Blueprint and Commercial Printing Company at 909-792-3478. That's 792-3478, or visit them on New York Street in Redlands off the I-10 and the Crosstown Freeway.
Hey Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where KCAA is located?
Of course, but there's more than just KCAA here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashion's where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to KCAA.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel Mall. We're open.
For more info, go to kcaaradio.com.
Thank you for joining us, America, in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Mark and Nicole are here. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, Dave. We're so excited to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you. Welcome. And what are your kids' names and ages?
This is Cameron, and she is 9, and we have Pierce over there, and he is 12.
Perfect. Very cool. Where do you guys live?
We live in Plymouth, Indiana. It's just south of South Bend, Indiana.
South of South Bend.
Yep.
There we go. I love it. Well, welcome to Nashville, and here to do your debt-free scream, I hear.
We are.
Yep. How much have you paid off?
We paid off $250,000 in 14 months.
That's crazy. Making what kind of money?
This is all business debt, so we have a small business, and the profit for the small business in that time frame was about $500,000.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Congratulations. Per year?
It's growing.
Okay.
We started 8 years ago. So.
What do you do? What kind of business?
We're a utility contractor. Put in water and sewer lines, and mostly we're for municipalities.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Got some jobs, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing. So it was business debt.
Yes, there was a line of credit and 3 pieces of equipment, heavy equipment.
What happened 14 months ago that put you on this journey, made you decide that this was crazy?
This has been a long journey, Dave. I've listened since my son was about 1, and in 2005, we paid off all of our consumer debt, and we started the business in 2007, and we didn't feel like we could do it without debt, and we kind of backpedaled a little bit, but then the business got rolling. We always borrowed money, but we'd pay it right off, and we'd borrow to get it going, and then we'd pay off, and we had a line of credit, and we would borrow a little bit to pay the bills, but then when we got paid, we'd pay it off, so it was kind of like a shell game almost. And then in 2011, we had a really good year, and we paid our home off. And then in 2014, the end of 2014, I was just kind of sick of the shell game. I was sick and tired of dealing with the bank. I think it was a sign from God, because every time I went to the bank, they annoyed me and they made mistakes. And I was always correcting them. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, you put that wrong, or that was a principal payment. So we then...
do your job.
Yeah, we kind of drew that line in the sand that we were done. We were done with this. And so I kind of had heard of some things about you talking about small businesses. And so we started saving more cash. We thought, okay, let's stop worrying about paying the debt off so fast, because we kept paying it off, but then we'd leave ourselves short to pay the next bills that came in when the next job started. So we would pay, we decided to pay the line of credit off and then just stash away cash. So altogether, this was a $400,000 turnaround, because we had about $50,000 in retained, cash reserves, and we now have over $200,000 in cash reserves.
And your own line of credit.
Yes, exactly. So we closed the line of credit, and then we started chipping away. We went to when you had the one-day theater thing, the live event that was recorded in the theaters, and we walked out of there completely pumped up. We were like, we keep saying we're debt-free. Oh, yeah, we're debt-free, except our business isn't.
Yeah, except that little $250,000.
So, yeah, except that little bit there, So we said, okay, we're done. We're going to, and I kind of said, well, let's have, the line of credit still, be our own line of credit and have half the equipment paid off. And Mark came along and he's like, no. If we're going to do this, we're going for it. We're going to have that whole thing paid off. So
I love it. Very cool. Very cool. So really, it mattered. The principles were there. The idea was there. You just had to develop a system, and then you had to both be in agreement on the system to do it. And it really never was that you were spending the money on your lifestyle. You were just using it to grow the business faster than you had money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what really hit me was we were reading your book with Rachel, and when Rachel's line in there that says, with the credit card, you're always looking in your rearview mirror. And that really hit me hard. I mean, when I heard that and read that, that's what we've been doing with this line of credit and so forth. And mindset changed, and then the movie last November, and then we just killed it. And
yeah, very cool. That's amazing, guys. Very, very well done. Congratulations. Well, it's a big deal just to change your mindset because it causes you to head to systems then that applies the principles, and that makes everything. So, Mark, I've worked with entrepreneurs and Nicole long enough that, and small businesses with the EntreLeadership stuff, that I've seen a thing happen pretty regularly where when you become in the business and everything completely debt-free, you start making different decisions in the business. It's when I'm dealing with cash, I have this weird thing. I'm more cautious on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm more bold.
I'm very more bold. Much more bold.
And it's made me I've made more money because I'm more bold.
I can see myself there. Yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to cause your income to go up because you're not dealing with, you haven't got this thing in the back of your mind going, God, if I screw this up, it's going to take me out. And if I pay cash for it, if I screw it up, the money's gone. It's a bad day.
Right.
But it doesn't take me out.
Yeah. You can always make more money.
Yeah. But it doesn't chase me. My mistake doesn't chase me for the next 5 years in the form of payments. So I think it changes the way small business people do business because we are emotionally attached to our debt when we're in business. More than corporate America doesn't get that. They don't understand. It's a distant thing to them. It's a set of numbers to them. It's not their money anyway. But when it's us, you signed personally on that line of credit. That line of credit really wasn't. It was a personal line of credit with a business name on it.
Right.
So, you knew that they could come take your paid-for house if you screwed this up.
Oh, yeah, and we deal with performance bonds.
Oh yeah.
So, you're also signing for that as well.
Yep.
There's a lot to it on the line, not just a creditor.
Exactly. There's all kinds of stuff coming at you. Well, congratulations, you guys.
Thanks.
Very cool. I normally ask people, what the hardest part was, but I hear what you went through. It's right there in front of me, and really, well, let's talk about it this way. From other small businesses out there listening, maybe EntreLeadership graduates, those kinds of things out there listening, thinking about in running my business. What would you say the principles were, or what was the things you learned that caused you to be able to do this? What would you tell them on how to do this? They say, okay, you paid off $250,000. How did you do that? We made a lot of money, number one. But how'd you do that kind of thing?
It's the passion behind it, and be patient as a business. Don't grow too fast. That's happened before. That was 3 or 4 years ago.
Success can cause you to go broke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get too big too fast, too many employees, not hiring the right employees.
Yep.
And listening to you is a great help with the EntreLeadership podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of some things relate, some things don't, but you can always take something from it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Nicole?
Patience is a big thing for me because you see the money coming. Overall, this year we're in excess of $2 million in contracts that we're going to bring in, and it's very hard because you see all that money that needs to go out to pay for the pipe or pay for the materials and your payroll. But you also see all that receivable that, and when you're looking at just at the next month, you're like, okay, now it needs to hurry up and get here because I want to pay these bills. I want to hurry up and get it paid because I want to go on to the next month so that I can, hurry up and pay it again. And the hardest thing I think was with the equipment, we didn't really want to pay extra on the bills. So we kind of, on that debt, we would have to pile it up and make sure all our ducks were in a row before we pulled the trigger to pay that debt off. So we still did them smallest to largest after we took the line of credit out first because that was the most annoying. But but the smallest, equipment debt, and then so it was like, okay, let's say the first one was, it was like $16,000, so it wasn't as big. And I think the hardest thing, it was more of an emotional weight than a financial one, which... So
it's kind of like personal debt with a debt snowball.
Yeah.
In a way, but it's just a little different weight on it.
Yeah, not to make it sound like it's not a lot of money, because it was a massive amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're paying a $2,000 excavator payment, it's like, okay, yeah, but I just paid that supplier $200,000 this month. It's, $2,000 was chump change compared to that.
Exactly.
But the emotional burden of if something ever happened to him, I'm going to have this excavator sit in my front yard, not know, I'm going to have to hurry up and get rid of it. Yeah. Really big flower pot.
And the cash is the way the cash needs to flow is, we had the money to pay the excavator off in April, but we had to be sure we had the cash for the year to work. So.
All right, Mark, Nicole, Pierce, and Cameron, $250,000 paid off in 14 months. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Love it, love it, love it. done, well done, well done. Great job. Open phones at 888-825-5225. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show, right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features Reverend Irma Forward.
We are the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire, teaching science of mind, a spiritual philosophy which empowers the individual to express creatively and to live a successful life. We practice affirmative prayer based on the teachings of Ernest Holmes. Sunday services begin at 10 a.m. During the week, we offer classes as an adjunct to Sunday services. These classes present a basic idea for successful living. On Saturday, December 5th, there is a family Christmas concert featuring renowned guitarist Rob Reynolds and family. On December 21st, there is a candlelight service with traditional holiday music. Julie Edwards Matanga will lead the Christmas bells. We look forward to serving you and meeting your spiritual needs.
Thank you, Reverend Irma. This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
A penny for your thoughts? Sorry, ideas are priceless. KCAA.
Thank you for joining us, America. It's a free call. And anywhere in North America, the number is 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. If you're wishing you had time to update your home for Christmas, Blinds.com can help you do it. They got the styles you want at the prices you love. And if you order right now, you'll have new window coverings before Christmas. It's not too late. Don't procrastinate. Go to Blinds.com right now. Justin is in Georgia. I'm in the process of interviewing for a new job in a new career field. how do I determine my salary requirements? You can just study either jump on Monster or some of the other different career sites out there and do a quick comp study for your area for that particular career, and just make sure it's area specific, because it changes dramatically. In other words, what their pay a given position in Los Angeles would be different than what they pay a position in Abilene, Texas, that kind of thing. So, or Des Moines, Iowa, so look at that. And you can do a regional search or a state-by-state search on comp study on a basic position and get an idea anyway. The other thing you can do is scan other employment ads and see what they're paying in that general area. I don't think I would use the word in an interview salary requirement. I think in an interview, you're there to tell them that you can add more value to them than you cost. And I think it's up to them to set the income offer. Now, if that doesn't match with what you think you're worth in the marketplace, then a negotiation begins, or you decide you don't want to work for that particular company, one of the two. Let me tell you, if I'm interviewing someone and they come in and they tell me what their requirements are, what that sounds like is they're here at my business that I own to find out what they can get rather than what they can give. That's what that word says to me when I hear it. Now, it might not say that to someone else, but I'm just speaking as an employer who does interviews. And we've hired 134 people this year. And if someone comes in and says, well, I require, you see how that sounds? I would stay away from that word. I would just be asking, what does this position pay, and what can I do to ensure that I make you more than I cost you? Because I want to add value to the organization. I'm not here to be a parasite. And boy, that's a refreshing thing to hear in an interview when someone's looking for a job. Don't go in there looking for what you can get. Go in there looking for what you can give. But also be intelligent about what your value is in the marketplace, and a simple comp study will help you do that. So, very, very good question. Well, you've heard me talking about Chris Hogan's new book, Retire Inspired, coming out in January. And to celebrate that, Chris and I are going to be doing 2 Smart Money events in January as a part of his Retire Inspired book tour. We will be doing a Smart Money event in Chicago, Illinois, January the 12th, and in Austin, Texas, January the 21st. This is the first time ever we've done a Smart Money event in either of those cities, and the first live event we've ever done in Chicago. And I was looking at the sales this morning. Chicago's going to sell out very, very, very soon, probably before Christmas. So you need to get your tickets. You need to get them now, and you don't want to fool around with this. The Smart Money events where we teach you how to get out of debt so that you can become wealthy, so that you can change your family tree and give with outrageous levels of generosity. That's simple. Thanks, man. We appreciate y'all checking in with us, and we appreciate you. You can do that at DaveRamsey.com, by the way. Both of these events are 75% sold out, is what they just sent me a note on. So check that out at 888-22-PEACE if you want to buy tickets, 888-227-3223. Chicago and Austin, Texas, first 2 weeks of January. First 3 weeks of January. Don't miss it. Chris Hogan and Dave Ramsey. We're looking forward to having you guys. All right, Bruce is with us in Canada. Hi, Bruce. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dave. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. How can I help?
Okay. I'm actually Muslim myself, and I really appreciate what you have to offer, because it's very similar to what Islam teaches about money and debt and this sort of thing. Please forgive me for the sounds. I work at a prison, so it's a bit noisy here. My question is for you, sir. I'm from Zimbabwe originally in East Africa, and there's a lot of poverty there due to corruption and colonialism and this and that and other thing. I am wondering what it would be your opinion of microloans and microfinance. Have you heard of that?
Sure. Well,
where as far as I have seen it, when I was in Zimbabwe still, you would I would give maybe $10 US, 20 maybe at the highest, and then it would help a family maybe get some supplies or some food or whatever, and then they would pay me back. Is that what you have heard it is? And if so, is that something that you would recommend? I am completely debt free. I do not have any debt in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe in it. As a Muslim, I cannot have debt.
Okay. All right. That's my understanding, too. I've got a good friend that's a Muslim and lives in Atlanta, and we've had some great discussions about what the Quran says and what the Bible both say about debt. And
they're very similar.
Yeah, it's Quran's a little bit more hardcore, but yeah, the principles are similar. They really are. I mean, it's very similar, and I learned a lot from him. I've appreciated learning it. So, you know, let's just kind of start with the premise that you're telling me you don't borrow money because as a matter of your faith, the book that you believe in, the Quran, says it's not a good thing. It's not how you believe you're going to be blessed.
Correct.
And so why would you do that to someone else then?
Because it's not interest. The whole thing in the Quran is called riba.
Yeah, no, usury, yeah.
Usury, yes.
All right. But do you believe in borrowing money? Would you borrow money if there were no interest on it?
If I were in a situation where I needed it, yes.
And you don't. That doesn't violate the debt rule.
No. The only thing that Quran says, that Prophet Muhammad says, is that usury is haram. It is forbidden.
Right.
Prohibited.
And usury is considered interest. So it's not really debt; it's interest.
Yes.
That's the problem. Okay.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, and I've seen this work in Zimbabwe before I moved to Canada to get a job here at the prison, but I'm just wondering. Yeah,
you probably know more about it than I do on an actual application in Zimbabwe. I've never been there, and the actual application on the street there, and I've had a lot of people ask me in the Christian world as well about the micro lending, considering that. You know, looking at that as a way to bless people in poverty. I personally would rather set up a different program because I just don't believe in debt at all. And, and so I would try to find a way to help the folks that are in poverty without it being a debt, whether there's usury involved or not, whether there's interest involved or not. I would just avoid the debt subject. And so I'm not saying that someone's doing something wrong, and I'm not making a moral judgment against people who do micro-lending. If you want to do it, that's fine. And you want to set it up that's consistent with your faith, which in the case where we're talking about it here would be without usury, that's fine. I've got no issue with that. I believe that the best way to become prosperous is to avoid debt. And I've experienced that. But I've experienced it not in a third world setting as much as I have here. And so I would find another way to bless folks and cause them maybe to pay it forward rather than pay it back. Maybe they feel an obligation to be generous to help their neighbor as you were generous to them. And I don't even mind sort of putting that requirement on them, at least in terms of a moral obligation, maybe not a legal obligation. But in other words, if I give you $10 to get this business started, you know, and you make that $10 back, what I want you to do is give it to the next guy so he can get his business started, rather than give it back to me, because I don't want you in debt. I want you paying it forward. That's probably the way I would do it, rather than the other way. But you may very well know more about it than I do as far as what works, so to speak, on the street, on the ground, than I do in that setting. Having come from that particular culture. Hey, man, interesting discussion. Thanks for the call. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Music Changing Lives, Kcaa and Daniel's Jewelers are working together to make Christmas brighter for thousands of children in the Inland Empire. Random Act of Kindness is a toy drive orchestrated by Music Changing Lives, and Kcaa